AI is getting really good at coding, and in this video I'll tell you about the best tools available in 2025 that can transform your business. We'll talk about state of the art in code generation, which tool is good for what. I'll demo you how you can create an MVP web application by a simple prompt, as well as the best practices to get started with building the apps yourself. And in essence, a code generation is just you given AI instructions, which are called prompts. And as a result, you get a fully functional web application. There is already quite a large range of tools available today, starting from professional development IDEs that give you full control over the code, to autonomous code generators that require only the prompt to get you start building. If you talk about IDEs such as Cursor, GitHub Copilot, and Windsurf, they give you a code editing experience which is familiar to software developers, but with an additional AI chat window on the side. They are good for experienced developers needing full source control, but one thing to be aware of is you need to do your own dev environment setup on your local machine, which can be confusing for the beginners. And actually, Replit solves this problem by having the environment set up and ready for you that simply works in the browser. And the interface looks very similar to the previous IDEs, but it is more agentic with more focus on the conversations with the AI. In addition to the built-in dev environment, Replit also allows for the seamless collaboration and handover with developers. And also, for some use cases, the Python support can be important. For example, if you're building web scrapers, and it is available here. And finally, let's talk about the prompt-only tools such as Bolt and Lovable. And the interface is very similar to ChatGPT. And on the side, you will see the live version of the app that you're working on. It is very good for beginners and for building the MVPs really fast, but also general prototyping of user experiences, which can be useful even for the seasoned developers. One thing to look out for is the complex backend logic that those tools are still struggling with. Let's take a closer look into the Lovable.dev. And for the MVP app, I have chose to build a live transcript dashboard for the voice agents. And next, I'll share with you how did I approach this project. To give you a better idea of the workflow, I will go through the ideation process, research phase, as well as prompting, following which you can build something useful even with a zero coding experience. And starting with the idea, for this one, I chose to build a simple client dashboard for the Vapi call transcripts. And for people who are not familiar, Vapi is a popular AI voice platform for building the agents. And in the research phase, I started with looking for relevant API documentation so I can get the call transcripts. Then I went to Postman to test this API call so I can get also the response, which will be useful in the next prompting step. And finally, the most important step is the prompt itself, where you can start with describing the needed functionality. You give the code example of the API call, as well as the data output that we got from Postman. And let me show you a quick demo of the actual app. We start with checking the Vapi, so you can check that we got the 3 calls in the logs. And this is the app itself, where you can see that we got the calls exactly right. It's 3 of them, and we can see the full transcript in the nice chat interface. And let's take a look into the Lovable itself. This is the prompt that we used, and on the right you can see the same app that is working. And just with one prompt, we are able to get the full-on functionality for viewing the transcripts in the voice agents. All right, let's go back to the presentation. And as the next step of this project, you can add the user account system with Supabase, which is a great database provider. Or you can add an extra AI analysis with the OpenAI API, as well as extend the functionality by analyzing the tool calls as well. And now let's take a look at the Bolt.new. And as the MVP app, I will demo you a PDF file processor with an interesting no-code backend. And following the same 3-step process of the idea, research, and the prompt creation. And my idea was to have a tool to which you can upload the PDF and get a summary of it as a response. And for the backend, I chose to use Make, which is a very popular no-code automation tool. And this is the whole backend design where we receive the PDF via the webhook. We extract the text from it with the pdf.co tool and then pass it to OpenAI ChatGPT for summarization, which we then return to the app frontend. And for the prompt, I started with choosing the appropriate web framework, Next.js in this case, and then the basic description on the functionality, and setting the environment variables is always a good security practice. Finally, I have asked the AI to make the app look nicer, which I will show you in a bit. And let's take a look at the demo. Starting with the PDF, which is the financial newsletter of the imaginary company that we're going to use as an example. This is our make backend scenario. And here is the app itself, which is super simple. You just choose the PDF file. Let's do it now. We press process PDF, and then let's take a look at our backend, what's going on here. As you can see, we're already getting the summary generated with the OpenAI, and we should be getting the response with the webhook. Let's take a look at the app, and yes, we got our summary as well as the key points. And if you go inside the bold, this is the interface, already familiar for you. On the right, you got the app, and on the left, the chat interface. And about making the app look nice, this is how it was looking in the beginning. So it is a JSON response that we got. And after asking it to make it look better, basically we got bullet points. The summary is more separated. So just with natural language, you can give the explanations on what kind of edits you would like to give an app, and hopefully AI implements it right. All right. So as the next step, you can adapt such app for a specific niche. For example, processing invoices for accountants. You can also add the database for storing results, or even add a Stripe for processing payments, which you will have to do semi-manually, as there is no native integration at the moment. And I would like to finish this video with the best practices to get you started with these code generation tools. It is a very good idea to start with giving AI a product requirements document that outlines the application's features and functionality, as well as creating the app flow that describing the UX interactions. And one note is that all those documents can be generated with the ChatGPT or Claude. It is also possible to attach a screenshot of a desired UI that you are using for inspiration. And if you are planning to do a handover of a project to a developer, don't forget to push it to the GitHub. Thank you for watching. I hope you got value from this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more AI content.